Greetings. I'm taking today as a moment to greetings and salutations. Back again, long time no see. Peace and salutation. You, hey, my gosh, long time no see. Perfect. Greetings. You're now live with Lamar. I hope everything has been amazing, of course. Always hoping and wishing for the best. It's not very often I get to do this in the morning time or have this moment so early, but I had a moment and of course wanted to make it happen. I think this is perfect timing, of course. I'm all about timing, and it's interesting how things align. We just allow them to be as they are because, here I am having my tea. Of course, this is very important. In the morning, it's important. This is a plug, but it's not a plug. Of course, I'm sure you hear about it often, but if not, having warm things in the morning stimulate your blood, get the digestion system flowing in the right direction, and those sort of things. So it's important to have, a little tea, of course, a lemon for the alkaline situation so that it, does whatever alkaline does to your body. That's developing. I'll have more information for you in that regard moving forward. But yeah, it's my going back to timing. I almost call this a fortune. It's not a fortune, but the positive vibe says let things come to you. And of course, last week I was talking about surrendering and allowing things to be as they are. And today, in this week, I've been having a lot of experiences and having to release, and sort of surrender and allow things to be as they are, but then actually releasing it and allowing it to be, because you don't want to, of course, sit and surrender and continuously surrender. You, of course, want to be able to move forward, and a part of the moving forward is genuinely just releasing it. And this sounds like sort of like a small thing to do, or sort of cliche maybe, and these are the small decisions or the small choices that we make that equal these really great things if we do them. But if we don't, then we end up in this whole different space. So it's just important to recognize what that feeling is, and what releasing actually does. It's like if a situation upsets you and you feel your emotions going somewhere other than positivity, that's a sign that something about you doesn't agree with this moment. Something about you has an emotional attachment to this moment, and it's okay. That's fine. We're all human. We all have experienced things that we may or may not know what effect they may be having on us. So it's important to keep that in mind. And no one's impartial. So you may have to do it more often in the beginning, and then it'll digress as you move along, but it's all about making those decisions, and allowing yourself to master the mundane. I'm reading a book called The Slight Edge. You guys should totally check that out. But in any case, releasing and allowing it to be. So just literally saying to yourself, hey, I'm leaving this right here. For me, I do this like this little sometimes I literally have to, shake, and, tell myself, Lamar, I'm letting this go. I'm leaving this here in this moment, I'm not taking this anymore. I'm not taking this further than what it has to be. A lot of the time, our days are consumed by situations that honestly have nothing to do with the whole day. Who, like the phrase, who peed in your cereal? If someone did pee in my cereal, I would probably, be very upset, and they would get an earful, of course. However, I would want to release it, let it go, let it be as it is, surrender to it. I accept that this has happened. I accept that you peed in my cereal. I accept that that's a reflection of you. But I also respect myself enough and realize that I cannot carry this on throughout the day, because I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Who wants to hear that? Who wants to hear that someone peed in your cereal, or have that phrase be brought into someone's space? It's kind of like, it's weird. But anyway, yeah, just allowing yourself to release and having that moment and, releasing what is. And a lot of things are easier said than done, but it gets easier. It always, the space around the awareness, the space around the emotions, it's a beautiful thing. The more we witness it, the more we allow it to be as it is. It's a beautiful thing. And I think that you guys should, of course, embrace it. And the more you do that, the more you learn about yourself and those sorts of things. And this is what it's all about. Introspection is so important. I can't say that enough. That's partly why I started this channel, just because I think that it's obvious that we overlook introspection, and in that way, we take a lot of things personal. I read a book called The Four Agreements, and it spoke on just not taking anything personal. And just that idea alone, we don't realize how much we take personal until you actually study what that means. A lot of the time we have all these different definitions and different ideas of what words mean, but until we actually look into it, then we create different understandings for it. So not taking anything personal is a long spectrum. And the Four Agreements went further to talk about things involving trying your best, which is another thing that is easier said than done, and we don't realize how often we don't do that. It also spoke on not assuming and how often we do that and may take that as, a different thing. And there was one more, being impeccable with your word, which is obviously so important, but it's something that we tend to, overlook because it's not something that we can see the effects of right now in this moment, but there's always effects to everything that we are putting out, everything that we're doing, all of the energies that we are sending. So yeah, I know, that was deep. Today was the first time I tried tea. Normally, not your first time, but normally I just do the warm lemon water. Sort of gets things flowing in the right direction. But yeah, of course, I want to make this fun. And no, these glasses are not to help me see. I just thought it'd be, it would add a nice effect. So here we are again. When I get moments, of course, at Macy's, of course, there are people who get bored and look for things to do at work, and I guess maybe somewhere in the middle of that person and someone who doesn't. But in any case, of course, focusing on the subject that we have spoke about this morning, this is about releasing and, following up on that surrendering topic that I spoke about earlier. The universe is rumbling. That's not part of my phone. Starting now. I don't know about you, but I long to create peace, hoping and searching for it in efforts to heal myself from within for a real release. I'm not referring to the kind you get from being drunk or hitting your peace, rather something much deeper and more profound with a shine to it like grease. Grabbing hold of the sun and its shine to bring darkness to a cease, but all the mental labeling is clouding my judgment and expertise. Someone's late, someone's ugly, another is rude, and this one looks anorexic, this one looks obese. How can I forget the ones that call black people thugs? No, I'm not talking about the ones we call police. Put your hands up, surrender, or you'll join the deceased. Join the deceased. Or find your increase. Find clarity, English translation from Vietnamese. Soar to the heavens like you own it, we don't lease. And give it your all, go full out, not just a strip tease. So sip teas, blow trees, flutter like bees. But I ask, please, join me here and now in my efforts to release. It's so magical. So very thankful that I had this moment to share with you guys. It's so happy it came out like it was supposed to. And it's one of those things, that timing, you can't destroy what it's already in the making. There's not a force. I think people think there's a force after them. There's no force after you. Everything that happens to you is all in an effort to push you forward, but it's all about the mindset you have moving forward. If you have that mindset throughout your entire situation, you will reap the benefits of that situation, as opposed to seeing it as a negative, as opposed to the story that you tell yourself at the end of the day that has nothing to do with what the universe was actually trying to say to you. Mentioned something in this poem about the mental labeling, and how often that adds to the pressures of the day, of the baggage that we're carrying, and all these sorts of things. So it's important, the labeling that we do, we have to be mindful of how often we're like even describing it's, we're analyzing and all these things, and it's a form of judgment, and judgment takes you further away from self, which is the ego edging God out. God is love, God is presence, and these things are all, of course, connected. However, just remembering to, when we get in those moments to where we're describing the situation, we're describing this person, we are, sort of labeling, this is late, this is bad, this is good. All of those things are adding more pressure to the idea, to the mindset, to the mental confusion and cloudiness. That's not necessary. So yeah, this has been a lot. This has been a moment, I'm sure. Let it all sink in, let it all marinate. I will, of course, be back next week to make this all great again. And until then, just bask in all this amazingness. Be your best self, try your best, put your best foot forward, make it happen. And until then, stay great. You've just been live with Lamar. Peace and salutations.